Jacob's prophetic blessing. Jacob's prophetic words to his 10th son Zebulun are, Zebulun shall dwell by the haven of the sea. He shall become a haven for ships, and his border shall adjoin Sidon. The tribe of Zebulun settled in the section of land that sits between the Mediterranean Sea and the Sea of Galilee. Jacob's words, shall dwell by the haven of the sea, can literally be translated as looking towards the sea. His prophecy certainly came to pass as the tribe of Zebulun not only looked to the sea on the east, but also on the west, and became known for its seafaring, shipping, and trade. Their symbol can be seen as a boat or ship, as this was the main way that they made their money. We also know through scripture that Zebulun went on to have 3 sons, Sered, Elon, and Jaleel, and it was Elon's son Eliab who led the tribe of Zebulun during their wandering through the wilderness. As I mentioned earlier, when Jacob blesses his sons, we now see at the blessing of Zebulun that he doesn't just go from the oldest to the youngest, which would have been the usual way within this culture. Firstborn to lastborn isn't the order we see with the 12 tribes of Israel, however, and this indicates that there's potentially more going on with these blessings than it would first appear. So far, Jacob's words to his sons have given us some really interesting insights into the characters of the men, as well as details of their lives. But some studies suggest that there are deeper levels to his blessings, as they're also telling a story of what is going to be the future of Israel as a nation. His words of prophecy give us an outline of Israel's history from the beginning right through to the last days and the kingdom age. This is an entire study in itself, of course, and for a more detailed look at this, I'd recommend listening to my pastor's sermon on this subject. You can find the study by going onto the Calvary London website and going to the Genesis 49 sermon entitled Israel's Future Laid Out. For the purposes of this study, I'll summarise some of the key points made about the relevance of each blessing and what each son and his tribe represent. Hopefully, this will help us understand the significance of Jacob's blessings a little more deeply. Firstly, Reuben is the firstborn son, and Jacob's words address the potential he had with the benefits of being the eldest. Reuben represents the nation of Israel as the firstborn, God's chosen people, having every opportunity to excel. This speaks of Israel as a nation in its earliest days. Sadly, Reuben committed adultery with his father's concubine and lost his firstborn privileges as a result of fornication. So too, Israel committed fornication, but in the spiritual sense. When Moses returned from Mount Sinai, he discovered the nation of Israel in the depths of idolatry, worshipping false gods and committing adultery in the spiritual sense. Instead of representing the one true living God to the people, they betrayed their God and fell into spiritual idolatry. Just like Reuben, Israel were unstable as water and a disappointing firstborn people. Secondly, we see Jacob address Simeon and Levi together. He goes on to condemn their wickedness and remove their inheritance from them. Neither son inherited any land, and they were scattered as a people. So too, Israel was removed from their land as a nation, and they became a scattered or a dispersed people. This was the second phase of Israel's history. The first dispersion came in 722 BC, when they were taken captive and dispersed into the land of the Assyrians, while the second dispersion came when the Babylonians took them captive in 586 BC. Twice they were dispersed as a nation into foreign lands, and Jacob's 2 sons, Simeon and Levi, represent both of these dispersions. This means we've seen Israel go from being a disappointing people to a dispersed people, and this is where the third phase of their nation's history comes into play. Judah represents the third phase of Israel as a nation, as after 70 years of being scattered in Babylon, Israel returned to their land. Part of Jacob's blessing to his fourth son Judah talks about how the scepter will not depart from the tribe of Judah until Shiloh comes. The word Shiloh is rooted in the Hebrew word shalom, which means peace. Jacob is saying here that from the tribe of Judah will come a man of peace, that man being the Messiah, Jesus Christ. Jacob prophesied that through the tribe of Judah, Israel would have rulers and kings and be a self-ruling, autonomous nation for a time. Only at Christ's appearing would the scepter depart, their autonomy would end, and from this point on, the people would bow down and submit to Jesus. Israel was back in the land when Jesus Christ, the Messiah, came on the scene, and this is the third major phase in the nation's history. So now we can see that Israel went from being a disappointing people to a dispersed people, and now to a delivered people, thanks to the arrival of the Messiah, Jesus Christ. Jacob's blessing now moves from his fourth son Judah to his 10th son Zebulun. Zebulun signifies the fourth phase of Israel as a nation, as the coastal region belonging to his tribe was conquered and the people were exiled. So too the nation of Israel became an exiled people as they rejected their Messiah and crucified him on the Roman cross. By AD 70, Israel no longer existed as a nation and they were exiled into the whole world. Through these 5 sons of Jacob and his prophetic words towards them, we see Israel's history laid out as they journey from being a disappointing people to a dispersed people, delivered people, and now through Zebulun, an exiled people. Thankfully, this is not where the story ends.